like to talk about the boy becoming a man and what brings a boy into a man. So, from 0 to 5 years old, the boy is very close with the mother. The mother creates the femininity identity for the boy. Okay, so, and the father from 5 to 10 creates the masculinity identity for the little girl. Okay, so what this means for a boy is that he is naturally seeking his femininity within himself to mature. Okay, just like as little girls, we're seeking masculinity within us to mature. Okay, to give us what we call the balance. So everything's like a balance of the scales. Okay, we're all seeking balance. We don't want to be too feminine as a little girl. Okay, because then we lack the practical, rational mindset to balance this out. Okay, or as a little boy, we don't want to have too much masculinity, that practical, rational mind, because then we lack, let's say, emotional fulfillment or emotional intimacy, bonds, connections with ourselves and with the community. Okay, so everything's about the balance of the scales. So that's why as a little boy, our feminine identities created by the mother to help us balance ourselves out. Okay, so we think as boys, okay, that how we mature is through just being around a bunch of boys, okay? And there's a period when boys are just naturally, it's a part of their developing of their character as a boy to be around boys, and usually it's kind of in a competitive arena, such as sports, or boys tend to be more competitive than girls. Okay, so that creates a character building. It creates a self-esteem. When boys are competing with each other, that creates a level of self-esteem, a level of confidence, a security in one's own male identity. Okay, and just like girls usually in high school, college, kind of ages, even elementary, they hang around a lot of girls because girls are about relating. So you'll see little girls in the corner in some, in the classroom, and they're whispering, they're talking, and they're like having some sort of secret society going on amongst the little girls. That's what they do. They relate to each other. They're about bonding. They're about connecting. They're about intimacy. They're about sharing. They want to share. They want to include each other. They want to care for each other. Like little girls love to play little tea parties with their little puppets or their little stuffed animals with their girlfriends, their little, their playmates, because that is how they create a care. They like to care for their stuffed animals. They name them. They give them personality. They give them little tea. They put clothes on them. That's how they care. Okay, and they like to share this with other little girls. So girls are inclusive, okay? So boys are competitive. They're about out there in the world. Who's the best? I'm the best runner. No, I'm the best runner. I'm the best at math. I'm I have the better skill. So that is how boys build character, okay, a level of confidence in themselves. And girls gain character, or we call personality, in their relating with other little girls. Okay, so that's the dynamic of children, basically, what we see out there in the psychology of children. Okay, now when it comes to boys specifically and how boys really become a man. Okay, so we think that boys become a man by just being in that competitive, aggressive, masculine world, and that will help them to become a man. No, becoming a man is becoming balanced. Manhood is about reaching balance. It's not about I have dominated my college. I'm the best in my college, okay? Or I have dominated my career and I'm the CEO, or I'm some sort of Victorian, something like that. No, Okay, that manhood is about balance. And a part of balance for a man, okay, a boy becoming a man, he could have all the riches, all the hot women in the world, all of the money in the world, but doesn't necessarily mean that he is really balanced as a man. A man is balanced, okay? So a part of balance for a man is connecting with his femininity, okay? Because he's a man. I mean, he's a boy, so he already has that male identity very prominent in him to be competitive, to be outward focused, to be scholarly, that kind of thing. But the balance, okay, the balance is connecting with that femininity. So when you see boys crossing into manhood, and it could, again, boys can be boys at 35, 45. I've seen, there is no sort of age that boys can become a man, but usually it depends. That it can be, the growth really depends on when they start to connect with their femininity, their feminine nature. So usually boys, let's say they have a very strong female in their life, either a girlfriend, either a sister, either a mother. They can actually become a man very quickly at like age 15 or 16. They can become very self-responsible, very balanced. And I've seen a lot of men who are very balanced, very responsible at age like 17 because they've either had a sister, a mother, or a girlfriend in their life that helped them reach balance in their femininity. So a lot of boys, they want to escape the femininity. They're like, I don't want to be femininity. I don't want to relate. I just want to compete. And I just want to get the top and be the Victorian of my job and of this and of that kind of thing. But what happens is there's no balance. So the men or male represents fire. Woman represents, or what we call that water element. Okay, we don't just need a bunch of fire. We need the balance, okay? Because when we have that femininity in a boy, in a man, when he's working, when he's developed that femininity, he uses that fire, that earthy elements, like that earthy fire element to be helpful to the community, to create a deeper bonds with people that can be resourceful, that can be inspiring, that can create improvement for everybody involved. But when a man doesn't connect with that femininity, he can become very like self-centered. I've seen that in a lot of men, even men who have families, quote unquote. They're not balanced because they don't know how to be of help to anybody besides just basically their self-importance, their ego. So men who usually don't have the balance, okay, we talk about they don't have the balance between, they're not connecting with their femininity. Usually they can have a very self-centered ego, and that ego does not know how to be helpful. It does not know how to connect. It does not know how to have intimacy. So there are men out here who have, we call the egomania of their world and all of their riches and whatnot. Okay, I won the competition kind of thing, but they don't know how to have intimacy. They don't even know how to relate to other people. Have you seen that? Even CEOs, like when you get into like a community of inclusive sharing, collaboration, they don't know how to connect. They don't know how to bond with people. They don't even know what vulnerability is, what intimacy is. And that's the great dilemma. When we don't develop that femininity side of us as a male, we don't really become a balanced man. We may be a man and, have our practical life that we manage very finely, but we don't have the helpfulness to bond with people, to create intimacy with people. Okay, intimacy for a man, deeper into, not just what we call the ego, self-centered intimacy where it's just about me, I just get my pleasure, just feed my pleasure kind of thing. That's not intimacy. That is very just competitive, just give me what I want kind of thing. Okay, it's very driven for the self. Okay, we know a lot of men, even in relationships with women, either sexually or whatnot, they're very driven about give me what I want this, please me. Okay, that's not a bond. That's not inclusive. That's not sharing. That's not caring. And that's not connecting with the feminine of deeper intimacy. Okay, that's very animalistic. So part of manhood and the balance from, animal nature is animal nature becoming human, which is about the emotions. It's about the water element. Okay, the water element and the cosmic element. So man is like the serpent. He is connected to the fire, and he's connected to what we call the fire and what we call the earth. Okay, so Zeus is very much grounded in the identity of themselves. But when we begin to connect as boys, okay, becoming a man, with that water element, as well as that ether element, okay, that ether element, that cosmic element that women represent, okay, which is about collaboration, it's about getting to know each other, imagination, sharing with each other, being very caring and considerate of each other, wanting to get to know each other. When we create that deeper intimacy in ourselves as a male, that's when we begin to balance out our animalistic nature. We start to become more considerate. We become responsible. We start to care about our community. We raise our kids, and we're looking to them to help them be their most authentic personality. We're not trying to impose upon our children. We're trying to help them be what is natural for them. So in order to help our children, even to help our spouses or help our communities, we have to have a level as males, a level of to connect, to bond with people, to be considerate of people. Okay? Because in the community is not competition. Boys in high school are competition. Men can be competition because that's how they're very much ruled. That's their archetype, you could say, the animal self. But when it comes to community is a different ball game. Community is not men in the corporate world or men in the athletic world. Community is everyone. Women, men, children, old people, black, white, community is everyone. So you have to have a level of ability to have intimacy, true intimacy, to be able to connect with everyone. So community is basically, the ruler of community is the woman. Okay, she is the one that has the ability to connect with every single person in that group. The Asian old woman, the black little girl, the Filipino mid-aged man. The woman has that inherent gift to be able to create deep intimacy with all of these kinds of people through her ability to be inclusive, to care and to share. And that is what she developed at a very young age through her little tea parties with her stuffed animals and giving them little names and putting little clothes on them and taking care of them and giving them names, and then having the tea party with their other girlfriends. Then that secret society at a very young age is how a little girl learns how to become a leader of the community. Okay, now men, a man becoming, we call it a balanced man, he needs to connect with that. Okay, he is seeking what we call deeper intimacy, and he can seek that from a mother, a sister, a friend that's a female, or girlfriend, a wife. But usually when there is a man, or I say a boy, trying to become a man, usually how he gets into that world of becoming a balanced man is through a woman. And it's not necessarily sexual, okay? Could even be his mother. Like I said, a very strong mother, a mother image creates a man's feminine identity to be very caring, very inclusive. But if the mother identity is absent, or it is it's not very supportive or encouraging, 2 words, supportive, encouraging, for a little boy, he can disrespect women, okay? And that creates an even bigger imbalance in a man, because if a man disrespects a woman, he will never become a man. He will never be a balanced man, because a part of balance is polarity. A boy becoming a man needs to have both a masculine and a feminine collaboration in his life. He can't just be man all day long, okay? Because it's going to make him too animalistic, and he's not going to have the compassion to be able to connect with people. So therefore, relationships will probably be very shallow, superficial, and probably maybe even what we call the word narcissistic. Because without compassion, without a sense of what we call that, to share, to care, deeper intimacy with people, relationships are kind of like, they don't really go anywhere. It's kind of like just a tiny hole, and there's not much going on there. Okay, so overall, the boy, okay, either a boy at 17, a boy at 25, a boy at 45, okay, the pathway for boys becoming a man, a balanced man, is deeper intimacy, is learning what is deep intimacy. So boys are so competitive with their ego, and I'm the best, and their scholarly efforts to win kind of thing. They know about that very well, but when they start to learn about the other side of themselves, which is deep intimacy, which is friendship, which is personality, it's about being unique, it's about being compassionate, accepting of other people, of other even nationalities, ethnic groups, sexes, ages, all that kind of thing. That's when that boy starts to reach balance. Okay, reach balance in himself, and he becomes a man to the community that is helpful. That is a man who is helpful to the community. A man that is just competitive and aggressive usually is not helpful to the community. It can be very destructive for the community because he wants to take it all. We've seen men that they just want it all, and they think they want it all, and it's all for me. Okay, that's not helpful to the community. Okay, a balanced man who is helpful to the community is a man who is using that drive, that native competitive drive that all of us men have, to empower and to support, encourage the community to have a self-esteem. That's the gift that men can offer the community, just like man teaching baseball or teaching soccer or teaching lacrosse. They're teaching the community how to have a good self-esteem so you can actually survive in this world. But in order to have that ability to know how to help the community have a self-esteem, okay, so that they can take care of themselves, so that when self-belittlement comes, they're not tapping out and crawling in a cave scared. That self-esteem helps them to be a very secure human being. A part of doing that is you need to know how to connect with people. You need to know how to bond with people. You know how to care for people. You need to know how to include people. You need to know about people compassionately. Okay, so any wonderful baseball coach, okay, they're wonderful because they know how to connect with their students. They know that each student's different. They know that they have to share in different ways to each student. They have to be considerate, compassionate for everybody's level. Okay, and that is a balanced man, a man who has that feminine strength as well as that masculine strength. Has that masculine strength to push, to challenge, to create discipline, to literally get somebody going in the right direction. But they also have that, I understand your level where you're at. I have compassion for you. I am considerate of your personality and your needs. Okay, I am inclusive with you. I want to share with you what I've learned, and I want you to share with me how I can better teach or what I can learn from you. That is a balanced man.